Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Jared. How are you?
I'm good. It's just busy around here. It's somehow spring, and Easter is next week. So, it's the latest on time moves too fast.
And it's busy in the parks, too, because the spring break crowds, Easter crowds, definitely in the parks. Genie Plus sold out for the first time at Animal Kingdom on Tuesday, which, again, never happened. Never happened before.
Yeah, that's probably not a good sign. If Genie Plus sells out in Animal Kingdom, I think I would just turn around.
I mean, in Animal Kingdom is one of those parks that I never used Genie Plus for. So the fact that it sold out is like, okay, that's definitely saying something. So
yeah, for sure.
Crowds.
Yeah. I also did see where somehow, you know how when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars?
I am familiar.
Yeah,
yes.
That was 2 years ago.
Was it really?
It was. And I was like, wow, time is doing a weird thing. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I feel like I hear more and more people talk about how it's like all of a sudden 2 or 3 years go by and you're like, oh, that seems like it happened 6 months ago.
I think it's the age. I think as we get older,
I don't know. Maybe it is, but I feel like I feel like even people older than me say the same thing, like way older than me.
Well, what I'm saying is when you get to a certain age, then time just like exponentially speeds up. Like when you're a kid, it's like everything is dragging. You could like, I don't know. I think as a kid, maybe just like take it all in, like, and everything moves slowly. But like when you get to our age, mid 30s, 40s, 50s, like there's so much going on in your life that, I mean, the kids and jobs and everything, that's like, everything is just, it's hard to grasp all the stuff that's happening. And then like, again, years go by and you're like, what just happened?
I hear what you're saying, but I think the most logical explanation is CERN. And they've been messing with, space and time over there. And I think they did some stuff, personally speaking.
What is CERN?
What is CERN? So CERN is the Large Hadron Collider. So basically what they do is they smash particles together to see what happens. And there's a chance that they could open up like a black hole. So I'm just saying, I know it's far-fetched to say this, but I think they may have opened up a wormhole and time now moves differently. And I think multiverse is a real thing. And there's another timeline where it's all normal. And we're stuck on the one that's crazy.
You literally have lost me now. I don't. Yeah.
This isn't the show for it, but if you ever look into CERN, you just walk away going, "Huh, they're the bad guys in the story." Like you've watched many a story, they're the bad guys. So I think that's probably the most logical explanation.
Right.
Not to be hyperbolic.
The most logical.
I think that's the one that makes the most sense. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay.
And if you want to go CERN, it's CERN. Anyways.
Okay. Great.
But we're going to talk about theme parks today, not smashing of particles together.
Oh, great. I know theme parks. I don't know about smashing particles.
Well, you're going to learn. Anyways. Right. Yeah, so we do have some news we're going to talk about today, including the fact that there is a 30th anniversary Lion King celebration going on. We also have a timeline on the construction at Epcot when it'll be done, and some other things to talk about, including a drone show. May happen. And then Jamie's going to talk about her experience eating with everybody but me at Garden Grill for breakfast over in Epcot. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get to the news, just want to remind everybody, if you're watching this over on YouTube, I ask you to please like this video, subscribe to the channel over at CTM Podcast. And if you're listening to us on just regular good old audio podcast form, we appreciate that. If you please subscribe there and leave us a review, we'd greatly appreciate that. And if you want even more content, then you should check out Club 32, which is our private group where we have, like we said, additional content. We have live streams. We're getting ready to sort of revamp a little bit what we do there. So we have the Club 32 show, which is a weekly show on Tuesdays where we hang out and chat with everybody. And, from time to time, we ask the members, what more content would you like? And a lot of people have asked for the Diz Dude show to come back. And while that's not going to come back how it was, there will be a version of that, not just for dudes, but for ladies as well. So I think it's going to be maybe a rotating people come in there, whatever. So that'll be a show in Club 32 that will be happening pretty soon. Then we have a Cool Kids Kitchen, which is a monthly live stream where we make a Disney dish. Music loops and all sorts of other things in there. Plus you get 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. There is a private Facebook group, a private Discord, and all sorts of things. So again, if you want to head over there, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options, and you can even do a free trial if you want to do that. Or if you want to do a yearly, you get a free t-shirt. So either way, you get something for free. So either way, head over to ctmvip.com if you want to check that out. All right, well, let's talk about the news. First story we have is that the remaining construction at Epcot will be completed by June 10th.
Yeah, so Communicore Hall and Communicore Plaza will officially be open by then. If it's official, it's official. And here's what's coming. So first of all, they announced this Celebration Encanto show that's going to run June 10th through September 6th this summer. It will feature Maribel and Bruno on stage as they lead a sing-along with the audience of favorite Encanto songs. It will run several times a day throughout the day on the Communicore Plaza stage. Now, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Disney had put out casting auditions. They were casting for an Encanto show. We were like, okay, well, we didn't know what it was at the time. We had thought about maybe Beauty and the Beast show or some kind of Frozen sing-along. Well, it is a sing-along. It's just not a huge, big thing. It's just a little temporary thing for the summer. And so what do you think?
I think this will be pretty underwhelming compared to what people were kind of maybe thinking, because I think a lot of people were thinking Frozen Ever After in their minds, which maybe. Frozen Ever After is it's in a theater, it sees a ton of people, it's a 30-minute show, it's a whole production. This is, if you look at the concept art, this is a Disney Junior style where you're sitting on the floor, which right away I immediately just want to boo. I can do it. It's not that I can't do it. I just think anytime you want adults to sit on the floor, it's like, I'm not 12. Or I didn't even do it. Maybe it was more, when did you sit Indian style? Like when you're like 8 years old?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that right away, I'm like, okay, well, that lends itself to not being a very long show because you're not going to ask people to sit on the floor very long. So it's probably going to be pretty short. Now, not that it won't be good. I just think a lot of people had the idea that this was going to be a bigger thing than what it is. So it'd probably be like, 10, 12-minute show, maybe.
Yeah.
Get in and get out sort of thing. But
is this outdoors? Like, I feel like the concept art...
It looked outdoors.
Looked like it was like in outdoors, if that makes sense.
It did.
Okay.
It's hard to know because none of that is done yet.
Yeah.
But if that's outdoors in the summer, then also I'm like, okay. So if we're talking about sitting on the floor in the heat of the summer, I'm already just sort of like... This has nothing to do with the performance. The performance could be great, but the surrounding elements of it, I'm already just like, I don't know about this. But we will have to wait and see, of course.
Yeah. Communicore Plaza will also have some more food and drink spots in there, including a mixology thing. Entertainment and inspiration gardens is what they're calling it, surrounding it. There's going to be the meet and greet location for Mickey and Friends. That will be Communicore Hall. They just put up the marquee yesterday for this area, and the meet and greet will also have Lightning Lane access, which is just some information that we came across. So that means the Mickey and Minnie meet and greet that is currently in Pixar Short Film Festival will be moving into this hall, and I don't think they're filling anything with the Pixar Short Film Festival. I mean, I think they're just going to leave it. I mean, it was just kind of the space they use in the queue.
Basically,
yeah. So
I mean, they should put something there, but
yeah,
they haven't said anything if they're going to or not.
Yeah, so there's a permanent location for Mickey and his friends that are meeting. And then Communicore Hall will also be home to some more festival things, some of their celebrations, and there's more details will come on that later. So again, June 10th is when the Hall and the Plaza are going to be officially opening. So yay. Yay.
It'll be nice when that's done. And you don't have to try and traverse through Epcot of dead ends, and like they recently changed it where you went one way, I mean, for the past 2 or 3 years. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they changed it, which, I think sadly on many fronts, it's like you get really used to construction walls at Disney sometimes. And then those being gone are going to be like, oh, that's right. There didn't used to always just be giant walls in the middle of the park. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm necessarily down on that Encanto show. I think it potentially could be good. The concept art is what made me, clearly people are sitting on the floor. That obviously could change because, to be fair, good and bad, sometimes concept art changes. So it could be a seated thing, and it hopefully is in air conditioning.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
I will just say, as somebody who has sat through Disney Junior thing over there at Hollywood Studios many times, Sitting on the floor is just not a good time.
You're hung up on that, aren't you?
I am. It's just not a good time. And that's in the air conditioning, though.
I won't make you sit down. I mean, I think it's more of like a come and go kind of thing, like in and out. I don't think it's supposed to be like, okay, I'm going to have a seat right here for 20 minutes. Like, I don't think it's that. Again, I don't know, but I'm just assuming.
Right. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. I will hold my judgment until I'm made to sit on the floor, and then I'll have stronger thoughts maybe. Or not.
Okay.
Or better thoughts. We'll see.
All right.
So, all right. Well, that is it for Communicore. The next news story we have is that the Joy Meet and Greet is moving to the Pixar Plaza area beginning on June 10th.
Yeah, so when this opens, when the Communicore Hall and Plaza opens, Joy is getting kicked out of Imagination Station, or whatever they call it. The
exit to Figment.
The exit to Figment.
The best part of Figment.
Yeah, it's just she's going to go join her friends over in like where Edna Mode meets and Frozone and the Incredible Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. So my question is Figment going to stay in the exit? Is he going to stay? Is he moving too? What's going on?
I would assume he would stay because it's his ride.
Right, but like I don't know. I mean, she has her own little area. They made this whole little area for her, and then they have an area for him. I don't know. I was just curious.
I will say her moving to the Pixar area over there makes more sense, given it's a Pixar franchise.
I agree.
Which I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to do. You know, I don't think, and we'll see what they announce maybe this year. I don't see them doing like a Pixar land with rides and things like that. But if you had a Pixar land with more meet and greets, I feel like that would be an easy win that they could do.
I mean, Hollywood Studios. You mean Hollywood Studios? Yeah. I don't know. They take that Pixar place and they try to put all those characters in there, and I feel like it just doesn't get enough love.
Well, there's nothing to draw people there unless you know it's there.
Right.
That's the problem with it.
It's a dead end.
Right. I mean, it used to be where Toy Story Mania was. I mean, well, what was it originally called? Midway Mania.
Midway Mania.
That's where the entrance to it used to be. So it would make sense because that was at one point in time where when you rope dropped, you went there. Like that was the busy. It's so weird because that used to be the busiest part of the entire park.
Yep.
And now it's deserted, essentially.
It's so weird. I remember so instead of those gates in the very back where you can't go anymore, those used to be open. You could walk through them, and then you're in the streets of America.
Yeah.
And then on to the left, you see it used to be Pizza Planet. But now it's Pizza Rizzo. Mm-hmm. So yeah, everything is just different there. But anyway, yes, it would be great if they could have a Pixar area that is more accessible, I guess, more spruced up.
Well, and yeah, just maybe more. Yeah, that seems more dedicated. I mean, I still don't know what they're going to do with that back there. I feel like it's still a place in limbo.
Yeah,
like it's just an area that was left over from when Toy Story Land was done because they moved the entrance to Toy Story Mania.
Yeah,
which weirdly enough, Hollywood Studios is one of the biggest parks you have for meet and greets. If you really think about it, because you've got Docking Bay, so you got all the Star Wars characters. You've got the Pixar.
Oh, you mean Launch Bay?
Excuse me, Launch Bay. Sorry, Docking Bay, same thing. Same thing, but it's not. But anyways, you've got that. You have the Pixar area. You've got the Olaf one. Then you've got Toy Story ones. Like, there's a ton of meet and greets in Hollywood Studios. Like, people, I think, normally think of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think you have more in Hollywood Studios.
They're spread out a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll see what they do or anything there. But yeah, she's moving over there.
Yes.
Either way. All right. Next story we have is that the animated Lion King's 30th anniversary celebration begins this summer over at Animal Kingdom, and they're doing some things for it over there.
And you guessed it. It runs June 10th through September 6th. June 10th is the day, you guys. It's the day. There will be a new merchandise collection. There's going to be special menu items plus a Puma popcorn bucket, which I feel like they already released, but they're just like re-releasing it.
I think so, yeah.
A Timon and Rafiki meet and greet that will be at Rafiki's Planet Watch. And Animation Academy is going to draw Lion King characters. And I think there is some new merchandise, actually, that's been trickling in slowly. So look out for that if you're in Animal Kingdom.
Yes, and if you want to do the Animation Academy, that is in Rafiki's Planet Watch. It's a little bit. If you've never done it, it's a cool thing to do. It's year round they do this, so a lot of people only know it when they do it maybe at Epcot because they put it on the main stage there in the America Pavilion where all the concerts and stuff are.
Yeah, but that's only during Festival of the Arts.
I know. What I'm saying is a lot of people don't know this happens year round in Animal Kingdom, but you just have to go to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which it's a trek to get over there to do. But it is a cool thing to do. So if you want to do animation stuff that is going on all the time, but they're doing dedicated Lion King characters for that. So I mean, it's a good hour of your day to go over there and do that. I would say, because you got to take the train over to class. So if you do want to do that, it's kind of something you really have to go out of your way for. But it is available all the time.
Yeah. And
the next story we have is, I kind of find this interesting, is there's going to be a new drone show in Disney Springs going on this summer.
Yeah, the show is called Dreams That Soar, and it will contain Disney stories that showcase the "you can fly" spirit. So lots of flying songs. They say it will be above the West Side area, and it's going to run nightly May 24th through September 2nd.
So it's a little interesting being at Disney Springs. I want to say there was a drone show a few years ago that ran very shortly.
It was like 2016. It was a really long time ago.
And I don't remember it going super well or bad. I think it was just sort of like, it was okay-ish.
I think it ran for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Now, drone technology has come a long way since then. And there's drone shows. I mean, Disney does drone shows overseas all the time.
Yeah.
But even just drone shows in general, like some of them have gotten very good. There's one that's in China that looks like a dragon moving in the sky. That is very impressive.
Yes, it's amazing.
So potentially it could be really good. Universal's also just announced they're doing one as well. So I think a lot of places are going to be doing drone shows. I just find it interesting that doing it at Disney Springs, it's almost like a test run to see the reaction to it a little bit. And then maybe put it into the parks. I feel like they're kind of gun shy on doing it into the parks in case it's like a disaster. I kind of feel like Disney does this with like, they're very cognizant of like social media. Like they don't like let's say do a new show at like Animal Kingdom and something goes wrong with the drones, they're going to get negative feedback on social media, and then they look at it as obviously you don't want that. But if it's at Disney Springs, it's not that big of a hit because people don't pay to go to Disney Springs.
Right.
It's just there.
Right.
And I feel like they maybe they're going to use that as a testing ground. But it's interesting. I definitely think you could see drone shows being implemented more often, but I don't know how much more people would want drone shows than say like projection shows. But I feel like you're going to get a mix eventually.
Yeah, you do a show with both.
Well, ideally you would, yeah. And it's just how they do it, and I think a lot of it comes down to cost though, because it's just like, and you'll notice with these, none of these will. I think the biggest challenge is they can't be over where guests are.
Yeah.
Because of obviously a drone could fall and that would not be good over guests. So I guess that would be a logistical challenge. But I'm curious about it. I don't know. I guess the thing would be you won't hear the drones because drones don't have the best that wah, like that high pitched whine to them when you have however many drones they're going to use. Obviously, I think music would drown that out. But I remember people saying at the one a few years ago they could still hear that. Yeah. And some people were saying it took away from it. So I think that's something they would have to figure out on, the soundtrack or music or something like that. But I think we'll see a lot more drone shows in the future. Inevitably. Like probably making its way into like all the parks.
Probably. Except for maybe Magic Kingdom. Because there's not that much water.
But they could do it behind the castle.
But would you be able to see it?
I mean, it's all about how they've got lights on them and things. So potentially you could.
I don't know.
I mean, I think the one that I'm thinking of, the dragon in China, like that's a nighttime show that lights up and looks like a red dragon flying through the sky. I think it would just come down to how often do the drones, let's say they break, they don't work, the cost of them. I think a lot of it comes down to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But potentially you could see more of it. We'll see how the trial run of this goes. I wonder if this goes well, if the reception's well, where do you end up seeing it in the parks? I think would be the next step.
I say Animal Kingdom, Rivers of Light Arena.
That kind of came to mind for me too. It's over water.
Hollywood Studios, Echo Lake.
It's such a small area though. I feel like Echo Lake wouldn't work because it's such a small contained area that it would be really easy for them to get over people versus say like Animal Kingdom's lake, the lake area there. It's very big and wide.
Oh, they could do one in Galaxy's Edge and really make it look like techie.
Well, originally they were supposed to. One of the original things they were going to do in the Galaxy's Edge was have drones flying overhead, and you were going to sound. It's supposed to give the illusion, because Black Spire Outpost is supposed to be this busy hub. It's supposed to give the illusion that like spacecrafts and ships coming in and out of the port all the time. So originally that was supposed to be a thing that they did, and they just that, or it was like projection. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things they could do with it. I think you're limited on the fact of where you can fly them, and just simply probably the cost on the return they feel off of it. But yeah, I think Animal Kingdom would be the most logical choice to bring back a nighttime show involving a drone. I think that would draw people in if you had a cool drone show.
Yeah.
At Animal Kingdom, because they obviously want to spread people out, especially at nighttime. Most people aren't going to go to Animal Kingdom. Magic Kingdom's obviously your big draw because of Happily Ever After. Epcot would be second. Hollywood Studios distant third for a nighttime show. So, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So, all right, next news story we have is, I think some people ran with this a bit hyperbolically, perhaps, but Joe Rohde is kind of back at Disney in a way, as he's back teaching some master classes to Disney Imagineers this week, because he had basically said as much on his Instagram.
Yeah. So we actually talked about this a lot over in, we actually were guests on a show called Orange Grove 55.
We were.
On YouTube. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that right now. Orange Grove 55.
Well, pause. You bookmark.
Yeah, pause. Yeah, okay.
Don't leave us. Yeah, don't leave us. Don't choose them over us. You should listen to us first, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but we did talk about that a lot over there, and so we won't talk about too much here. Just the fact that Jared's right. Like people were really excited that he was back at Disney. He's back, but it's a very limited amount of time, and it's not like he's been rehired back by Disney, at least as far as we know. So
well, it leaves lots of speculation, because we had talked about as well with both Joe Rohde and James Cameron are both being recognized as legends, Disney legends at D23. So then lends to Iger had leaked that there's something Pandora related coming to Disneyland. Are they, obviously Joe Rohde was heavily involved in Animal Kingdom and Pandora. So, is he back to help advise on that for the Pandora thing for Disneyland, or is he doing, obviously the rumor is Dino Land's getting some sort of renovation or completely gutted. Something's happening there. Is he coming over to help with that? There's a lot of, it could be more, or it simply could be him showing them things. My only question about that is do they not have a lot of the stuff, like all the Imagineers that were there years ago, do they not have stuff like that is just part of the curriculum, I guess you would just call it?
Yeah.
But maybe it is. But I still think he's employed by Virgin, last I checked.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's left. I mean, he hasn't made an announcement that he left. If he would have left Virgin and then this would have happened, I kind of feel like it might be something more, but given I don't think that's happened, it may simply just be he's back to show them some things, which either way I think is good. I mean, Joe Rohde is a great Imagineer.
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
but I don't think you saw a lot of people running with headlines that Joe Rohde's back. Like
he's kind of
he's physically back in the building, but he was it's not like Disney brought him in to like head up Imagineering and stuff like that.
He's not back.
I mean, I think if they brought him back to head up Imagineering, I think people would love that.
Probably, yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen. So,
yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next one we have is cast member to guest pin trading is returning full scale on April 7th. I was unaware this was not happening already. I'm not a pin trader, though.
Well, it has been going on at Disney Springs lately over the last couple months, but not really in the parks. And it'll start again next month. So like they would have the boards out. Sometimes you'd see them out like displayed.
Were they not allowed to do it?
I just don't think it was a thing like cast members, unless they just wanted to on their own.
Oh, gotcha.
I think now it's like it's becoming more of a solidified thing. So if you're a pin trader, then find some cast members and start trading those pins on those lanyards.
I wonder if it was like a COVID thing where they said they couldn't or something. But
maybe just didn't like because it was too like close contact. I don't know. I don't know.
It would make sense that like 8 years later they're like, no, okay, you guys can pin trade.
I don't know.
And the last story we have is the cabins at Fort Wilderness are now eligible to attend extended evening hours.
Yes, I should have said the guests at the cabins.
The cabins
are going to go.
The cabins are going. They're going to. It's kind of like Cars. They're going to be talking. It's weird, but
listen,
it's fine.
Jared is Ron Burgundy, and he reads what is written. And
sometimes I don't read what's written, I get told you're going off script. See, I don't like scripts. And I go off script a lot. But on the bullet points, and people can't see this, we work off of bullet points. And if I go off the bullet points, many times Jamie gets annoyed with me. So when I read what she writes, and then she makes fun of me for reading what's written specifically.
Oh, I'm not making fun of you.
So I'm just saying, I can't win. That's
No,
what I'm saying.
I'm saying I addressed this because I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right because I just left guests at cabins at the Fort Wilderness.
Listen, I don't know what's going. I don't know what's going on with those cabins. They might.
They are sentient now. They are now organic, and they will be walking themselves over to Magic Kingdom and Epcot.
If you're telling me that the cabins are transformers, I'm not going to tell you that that can't happen because I still hold out hope that one day I get in my car and it does transform.
That'd be funny. That'd be great. It's coming though. I will say to go to what we're talking about here. This is just because they're turning them into DVC cabins, like a Disney Vacation Club. And Disney Vacation Club hotels are always a part of the extended evening hours. So they kind of have to. But it is the only moderate type of resort, I guess. Because, I mean, it's always been moderate. But now it's DVC. But it still has moderate facilities with it. I'm so confused. My brain hurts. So it's just remember this.
I feel like they're their own category. They just don't know what to call it, so they just say they're moderate, but they're not really moderate.
I mean, yeah,
because they're always more expensive than other moderates, but they weren't as expensive as some of the deluxes.
But then you have the campground, which is the least expensive place you can stay on property.
But who wants to sleep in a tent?
I mean, that I don't. That's I
as somebody who camped a lot as a child. I have. If someone's like, we're gonna go camping, I'm like, I hope you have a trailer and everything, because if it's in a camp, like if it's in a tent, I'm not doing it. I'll sleep in the car. I
mean, if I had the choice between to stay in like a value resort or a campground, I mean, I'm gonna go with 4 walls. I'm gonna get those 4 walls in. This the bathroom, not being with the bugs on the ground.
That's a big plus. If it's in the like winter to like spring season, maybe you could convince me. If it's anywhere north of like say May, especially, but April, it's too hot. No.
No, not in the summer. Oh, no, thank you. No,
might as well just set up a sauna out there and just sleep in a sauna.
What do they call it? Those tents that you go into and it's really, really hot.
It's a sweat
lodge.
Yeah.
Sweat lodge. Yeah, there you go.
You come out and you have visions and you see things because you're dehydrated from sweating in there.
That's right.
But anyways.
That's right.
There we go. All right. Well, the cabins are sentient and you can go to a sweat lodge at Disney. So there you go.
Anyway.
Wait a minute. This doesn't sound right. It's completely true. And don't ask any questions. That's fine. All right. Well, that's it for the news. But Jamie does have a poll time.
Poll time. All right, this week I'm starting a new poll series where I ask about table service restaurants. And I said, what is the best table service restaurant at Magic Kingdom? And 52%, the number one answer, Skipper Canteen. Number 2, 22%, Liberty Tree Tavern. 10% said Crystal Palace. Let's see, 7% said Be Our Guest. 5% said Tony's Town Square. 4% Cinderella's Royal Table, and we got 0% for the Plaza Restaurant and Diamond Horseshoe. Nobody loves those. Okay. But Skipper Canteen getting half the vote is not a shocker. It's not to me. I just feel like it's just really good. I mean, you get the cheese bread, the Brazilian cheese bread. You've got the tastes like chicken because it is. You got the noodles. Oh, just so many good things. So many good things.
I think the theming of it is probably what gets. I mean, it's very well themed to.
That helps.
Jungle Cruise, which helps a lot. I actually like Liberty Tree Tavern better personally.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, so it's like Thanksgiving dinner.
That's second.
It's like Thanksgiving, and then you get the toffee dessert that you've got there.
That's what someone said. They're like, I couldn't decide between Skipper or Liberty, and they chose Liberty because of that.
Yeah. Now Liberty's gonna be more expensive. You know, the one though that, in my opinion, is such. I still contend it's the biggest missed opportunity is. Be Our Guest should be one of the most sought after dining reservations on all Disney property if done correctly.
Well. It has been.
It was. I feel like though, what it's become, you don't really hear people talking about it much anymore. There was a period of time where people really were into it, and we ate there a couple times, and it was good. But then the prices started going up. I mean, the prices now are hitting almost. Topolino's prices sometimes.
Well, remember, I think it was a year and a half ago, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but they changed their menu to a prefix.
Yes.
And then they upped the price.
Yep.
And then it's confusing because you do see the Beast, but he just walks through.
You see him as he walks by you.
It's not really a character meal. I mean, you do get to eat in that, in Belle's or the Beast Castle. Yeah, it's a weird situation. Now we've been there for lunch. We've done lunch a bunch.
I think we did breakfast once.
Did we do breakfast?
I think so. I think it was a while ago, but I think we did.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's decent, but compared to Skipper Canteen or Liberty Tree Tavern, I would choose those two over Be Our Guest.
I just thinking in terms of like you're dining in a castle, Beauty and the Beast, this whole thing. Like it has this potential that it doesn't quite hit. I feel like it could be much more than it is, and it'll be really sought after.
Well, they can't put Belle in there because Belle's already got. She did the Enchanted Tales with Belle, and you can't put her in two spots at the same time.
I thought you could as long as they went at the same time.
No, she's out all the time in her little hair attraction, so you can't have her.
You could have you could have an animatronic candlestick out there or something.
Lumiere.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
You could do. I mean, there's things you could do. It's not just the character part. I think it's like the dining aspect.
You could have Gaston. You could have Gaston come in.
He's the hero that didn't get a redemption arc. It's true.
Oh my. Okay.
But they won't put him in because I think they're worried about Gaston would steal the show.
I mean, he has his own little meat and greet outside, but
if they did put Gaston in here, I'm telling you, who'd become the most popular part of the dining part, because people would be like, they want Gaston to come to their table and roast them.
He's so entertaining.
That's what I'm saying. If Gaston came around and just bragged about himself at your table and was like went there and roasted people, they would love it.
He's like, yes, it's me. I'm here.
Yeah,
that's pretty much his.
I don't know why nobody's done this yet.
I mean, maybe they will. I don't know.
When they do this, all I want is we just want a little bit of credit for it. That's all it is. Just.
I will say a couple people said that they don't really eat table service much at Magic Kingdom. And I feel like of all 4 parks, this one and maybe Hollywood Studios is maybe the weakest. I think the strongest ones are Epcot, obviously. And then probably Animal Kingdom. I mean, it's a smaller pool to draw from, but
Magic Kingdom
is just kind of struggles.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to do your trip. A lot of people don't want to do table service in theme park because they'd rather ride rides and do attractions and things.
I feel like some people are like that.
Some,
yeah.
I think the majority of people probably don't want to do table service, but there are aspects of people who do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there are actually a lot more options than you would think at Magic Kingdom. But of those ones, I mean, Skipper is the easiest one to kind of get in and out of, too. You do have a bar you can go to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take as much. Like, if you're going to do a lot of these other ones.
You can drink at the bar.
You can.
That's true.
It takes a lot more of a time commitment for, like, say, Crystal Palace or Liberty Tree Tavern. Like, those are full-fledged, like, 3-course meals or buffets versus you can get in and out of Skipper Canteen with a drink and a appetizer and get back to doing stuff within, like, half an hour.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's it for the poll time.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the poll this week. I will have a new poll next week.
Yes. And if you want to be part of the next poll time, you can do that in a couple of ways. You can you can join the Capture the Magic Facebook community. Join there. Jamie posts those there. And also, it's a good place if you got questions on a trip or you just want to talk about theme park things with like-minded people. You can go in there. You can also join us over on Instagram, where we're growing over there. You can go to Cap the Magic, and Jamie posts those in the stories over there. So
I do.
You can post those in a couple places. And check out funny meme videos and show clips as well.
Would you like to do those?
I did. I liked my Armageddon one I made because Armageddon is like one of those movies you always watch.
You mean Armageddon?
Armageddon. And then the overacting by Ben Affleck when Bruce Willis... So he's screaming because he's like, go take care of my girl.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I love it.
And then I remember that part where like, what's his face? Billy Bob Thornton.
Uh-huh.
And he's like going on about the conditions. I'm like, wait a minute. And I went and listened to the clip because it was on something the other day. I clicked through and I just popped in my head.
The Meteor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was talking about it. And I was like, oh, okay. That sounds a lot like a theme park in the middle of July. So there you go.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're good. Sometimes, whatever. So. Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about our discussion aspect, which will be just me asking Jamie because I didn't go here.
Yes.
I can act like I did, but we won't do that. We're honest around here.
Well, I'm just going to tell you I'm just right off the bat. I think this was okay for you to miss.
Meaning what?
Well, maybe you'll find out.
Okay. Well, so what we're going to talk about is Garden Grill Breakfast, which is a dining establishment in Epcot, and more specifically in the Land.
On the top floor of the Land Pavilion in the mall.
You can go to JCPenney. You can go get some stuff over at Sears. And then you can go up to Garden Grill and enjoy an afternoon lunch.
Yep.
Or breakfast in this case.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
That's true. So, all right. Yeah, like I said, Jamie went here, so I will be asking her questions. And then I will, I guess, decide if I should have gone or not. Question mark?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Pretty much. But here's some information. I don't know if you want to do it, Jared, because you're not going to be talking much.
Sure.
Here's some info about the restaurant.
Yeah, I know this off the top of my head. This is an Epcot opening day restaurant.
Yes.
Did you guys know that? Because I did.
Yeah.
I knew that and you didn't. So there you go. You learned something new today. But it was called the Good Turn Restaurant, which was named by a caveman.
What? What? I don't get it.
What do we call this place? The Good Turn. Oh.
I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, just Good Turn Restaurant. Oh, thank you.
I'm so confused.
Thanks,
okay.
Bob. Okay.
Right.
It was renamed to the Land Grill in 1993 and then now Garden Grill in 2010. Yep. I think I like the Good Turn Restaurant.
The Good Turn. Because why?
I don't know. Just funny to me.
Because it rotates.
Well, it does rotate.
It rotates.
The restaurant serves a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like Jamie said, and is served family style. So those that don't know, family style is they bring
here's your food.
They bring a whole bunch to your table, and you divvied up yourself.
Pretty much.
They don't want to do the work.
You're like, sorry, we're busy. We can't do this for you.
Family style, as in you fight it out, because we're not dealing with this. That's what that means. Right. The vibe, as you might guess, is more of a harvest theme.
Yes, and like they actually use food that they grow, like in the Living with the Land attraction at Epcot. They use that for some of the menu items.
Can they prove that?
You know what? I've never asked for proof. I'm just going to take their word for it.
I want to go down and choose the vegetable I want on my dish.
Why would they? You don't eat vegetables, so that's not.
Well, not
happening.
Theoretically.
Okay.
It's like when you get to choose your own lobster.
Oh, I wanted to choose my own carrots, green beans.
Where do I choose my own cow? And they're like, we don't do that here.
That's not a thing, sir.
Fine. This is a character dining experience. They have Chippendale's Harvest Feast, where guests meet Chip, Dale, Pluto, and Farmer Mickey.
Farmer Mickey.
And the price here for breakfast is $47 per adult and $30 per child.
Yes.
So that is the facts about the restaurant.
Yes.
Or otherwise known forever as Good Turn.
Good Turn. The Good Turn.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much.
It does make you laugh.
Good Turn.
That's what it's called. I don't know.
Why do they ever change the name? Just leave that.
Because they had different sponsors. So Kraft sponsored it at one time.
What a bunch of killjoys Kraft is. A genius name. They're like, no, we don't want to have fun. They should have the Good Turn restaurant. We have cavemen be like, Good Turn, we get turnips, and they just go get your stuff and bring it to your table. Anyways, I'm off on a tangent.
You are.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about your experience here at Good Turn.
All right.
Otherwise known as Garden Grill.
All right, so we made 2 reservations, one for 3 people, one for 4, because we had a group of 7. However...
How did that go?
Well, I was going to tell you. So one of those is an infant. So basically we had 6 with an infant. So we're able to just do one table of 6 and then put her on the end in a high chair. Not a problem. Not a problem. Mm-hmm. If it was like 7 adults... that may have been a little more difficult.
We talk about and since COVID, especially, this whole anything more than 4 turns into a little bit of a, I'm not going to say nightmare. It definitely gets a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, it does. But it wasn't a problem because, again, she was an infant. She sat on the end. It was fine. So we waited maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes for our table after we got there. Not a problem. So once we were seated, everything kind of moved very quickly. It was a very quick moving meal.
Did you feel rushed?
Not rushed. Technically, it was just more everything just happened fast on its own, if that makes sense. And I'll tell you what I mean in a second. And we were on the top level. So there's a lower level and an upper level. And the lower level is the one that's on the outside of the restaurant as it turns. So you can see outside to like Living on the Land and into the Land Pavilion. We were on the top level near like the kitchen, because the kitchen is in the center.
Okay.
Which is so weird, because
kind of weird.
The restaurant moves and you're seeing different entrances into the kitchen.
So given you have motion sickness, does that speed of turning, did it bother you?
So I thought it was going to, and I decided, you know what? I am not going to sit facing the views. I'm going to sit facing the kitchen. So it actually was okay. Did
you notice it while you're eating?
Not really. It moved slow enough to where I didn't really notice it.
Okay.
So that was okay. But yeah, so it's weird because again, the kitchen's in the middle, and we're like, how are they remembering where the tables are? Because I go in and out, and they're like, well, my table has moved.
That's a good point.
Every table, it has a number on it, so they just have to remember what number they're on and go from there. But yeah, I think that would make me a little confused if I worked there a little bit, but I don't know.
You would legitimately get turned around.
Legitimately, yes. So here is the food. I'm going to talk about the food a little bit. So when you first sit down, you order your drinks and stuff, and they do have pog juice. If you're curious. And they give you monkey bread and watermelon. The monkey bread was pretty good. I like the monkey bread.
That's a weird combo to me.
I know. I think maybe that was just a choice.
Watermelon
of this day.
for breakfast?
It's just fruit for the table. I don't know. It was watermelon that came out. So, okay. And then monkey bread, like I said. And then after not so long, like maybe 10 minutes later, we got all the food for the meal. So we got scrambled eggs, skillet potatoes, bacon, Mickey waffles, backyard grilled steak with Farmer's ranchero sauce.
They had steak for breakfast here?
It was like long steak.
Like flank steak?
Yes. Kind of. It was like, it wasn't, you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway. And it said cage-free eggs for the scrambled eggs. And I don't know if that's true, because when they came out, they look like powdered eggs. So.
Well, powdered eggs could be cage-free.
I guess.
Technically, that powder is not in a cage.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I'm not saying that I was accurate about that.
It tasted like all the other eggs you have on property.
Yeah. They just weren't anything. They were all yellow. It wasn't like white and yellow like scrambled eggs can be. It was just all yellow.
Gotcha.
So that's what made me think too. Okay. Anyway, maybe I was wrong. Maybe not. Anyway, so they do have a plant-based menu, and it serves seasonal fruit, plant-based Mickey waffles, Impossible sausage, scrambled, in quotes, eggs, and skillet potatoes. And we didn't have any of that, but that is an option if you are on a plant-based diet. Characters, great, as usual. Chip, he particularly spent some time with the baby.
Right.
And got close to her and like let her touch his nose and like his hand and everything. It was very sweet. So Chip was real great. We loved him. But all the kids hugged all the characters, took pictures. I got a picture with Mickey. But they didn't stay for very long. It was kind of like a hi, how you doing? Hug, hug, and then picture, and then they left. I was like, okay.
That's how most of them have gotten anymore, though.
Yeah.
They've gotten much quicker in their pacing, I've noticed.
Well, we saw Dale. Was it Dale, I think? He was the first one we saw. Like, we sat down, and it was maybe 30 seconds later, and he was at our table. Yeah. So it was like right off the bat, he started. So we saw Dale, but we actually saw all the characters twice, except for Mickey. And just to, I don't know, I said, oh, hi again. Nice to see you again. Because the kids were like, why are they coming back twice? So anyway, we did see them twice. The restaurant, like I said, does rotate as you go. It's very slow, but you can see into the ride, which is kind of cool. And it does turn counterclockwise, in case you're curious. I'm not sure how long one rotation is, but I'm guessing about an hour.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I know that. We were in and out in less than 50 minutes.
Okay.
I felt like
that's pretty quick.
It's very quick.
For a character breakfast, that's typically pretty quick.
Very quick. I was like, wow, we haven't even been here an hour. It was crazy. And we hadn't even done like a full turn yet. That's why I say it's about an hour. But anyway, so As far as the food goes,
I was going to ask you how the food was.
yeah, the steak was decent. I like the steak. Mickey waffles, how they're going to be at other places, Mickey waffles. Bacon was good. The potatoes were pretty good. I didn't have any scrambled eggs. And then Mickey bread was pretty good too. Everything was good. As Jared likes to say, good, not great. Mm-hmm. It wasn't amazing. It was just I could find the same breakfast in other places that wasn't a character meal. So basically, I just felt like, okay, I'm paying for the characters, which okay, that's fine. You know, we hadn't been here. It had been years for me. You know, the kids never been, and so I was glad to try it and do breakfast and everything. And they do eat breakfast food, so they did eat some of the food, which was great. But as far as like being anything groundbreaking or amazing, it didn't feel like that to me. It was just like it was decent.
I mean, I kind of had that expectation of it before, but yeah.
Yeah. It felt very much like Chef Mickey's, but farmer Chef Mickey's.
Yeah.
But
so it's no Topolino's Terrace breakfast.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. And again, I didn't go in there expecting this, but I did go in expecting, okay, this is a meal that my kids are going to eat. They're going to have some of the Mickey waffles. They might have some of the watermelon or the monkey bread. Like I knew they would have some of it. So I was like, okay, well, at least I know that.
Did they have the basket sometimes they'll have where it's like muffins and stuff like that?
Didn't have any of that. Just had the monkey bread and the fruit. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Or pastry. I think they say like pastry something, but it was monkey bread for us.
Could you ask for the steak to be done a certain way, or is it just done a certain way no matter what?
It all came out in the same little big skillet.
Okay.
Big plate thing.
And family style, you can ask for seconds and things.
Absolutely, you can. We did not because, again, it was 3 adults and 4 little children. So, I mean, like we had the adults basically had 2 skillets to ourselves.
Yeah.
So we didn't really need to, but
because they'll say this is all you care to enjoy.
Right.
They don't say all you can eat. They say care to enjoy because when usually on these places when you ask for something, like they'll ask you, do you want more of something? And usually you say, oh yeah, I'd like more of this and that. They'll get it to you in a like not right away, but I think they're definitely trying to get you to like digest your food a little bit, and they bring you some back. So it's not like every time they come to the table they're going to give you a giant amount of food again. They'll give you select things that you ask for again. And then sometimes we've had I mean, we've never had any issue with this. Like we've been able to take stuff with us usually on these. I know sometimes technically you're not supposed to, but I don't think we've ever had a waitress or a waiter that said no.
Well, and I asked, you know, I have a peanut and tree nut allergy, and I always tell the server, like, you know, what the deal is. And he even said at the beginning, oh, you don't have to worry about any of that. We don't have any nuts or tree nuts or peanuts or anything.
Which that may be why we've never had an issue is your allergy. I'm actually now thinking.
Taking the food?
Yes. I'm wondering if maybe because of that, they don't have an issue with it.
I don't know.
Or maybe we're just that charming.
We're so charming. But yeah, it's just all in all, do I think it was worth it? It's a pretty steep price to pay for just like the meal if it was alone, you know, with the characters. I mean, that just kind of depends. Like, yes, we were excited to see the characters and there were good interactions and everything. But this meal, all in all, didn't like blow me away. It wasn't like amazing, but it was good. It was good. It was decent. It's a decent option. Would I come back here? Not for a long time. I've done it. It was great. I probably won't come back until I do other things.
It was great. You said it was great. So you think it was a great meal, or
I said it was good.
Oh well, you said we did it. It's great. I was just making sure.
No, it's great that we did it. Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
It was good. We did it. Again, probably won't return and do it again. Even dinner, I don't think we would come back because it is more expensive for dinner. I don't think we would come back for dinner unless it was like a special occasion or somebody wanted to come back and try something. But yeah, I'm glad we tried it.
Okay. When it comes, people ask us a lot because of our kids, like, what character dining do we recommend and how the best way to do it? I've for a long time said there are a lot of the character meals, like, and I imagine Garden Grill probably falls in this, like, most of them are going to fall just into the it's okay category. Like, it's not, the food's going to be basic. character interaction. You're basically, like you said, you're paying for the character aspect of it.
Right.
So the food's not the highlight. Now, there are some that do stand out for breakfast, especially. So what we've always said is, you know, let's say you're on a budget, you want to do character meals, but you don't want to spend, you know, $250.
Right.
You can spend as least amount as possible. Breakfast is a good option because it is cheaper.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than it used to be, but it is cheaper. And usually Disney's breakfast food it's pretty solid, base level. Places like Topolino's Terrace, I think, are exceptional for every meal, breakfast being included. And their cost, I don't know where they're at now. They used to be actually cheaper than the other ones.
I believe they're $45 now.
So they're about even with all of them, but I do think it's a better experience and a better meal. But I've always said, like, do one character dining on your trip, and then to me, you know, obviously people can do what they want to do. I feel like you do it more than once, it kind of loses its like novelty. You know, do it once, you have it, because especially if you're on a budget, there's even if you're going to eat in the Disney food area, you know, restaurants and all that stuff like that, there's way cheaper ways to have meals versus character meals.
I mean, it's cool that the restaurant rotates. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. And then you can see Farmer Mickey in his little overalls. You know, that's unique.
True.
Everything else wasn't, you know, unique, because you can see Chip and Dale. You can see him at Hollywood Studios. You can see Pluto, I think, like everywhere. You know, and Mickey you can see everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, again, glad we did it. It was good. It was good. But we probably won't come back here for a while. If you're going to do a character meal that has these type of characters and this type of food, I don't think this would be my first choice.
Yeah, I was going to ask you where you put. Yeah. I mean, from what you were saying, I think I would probably agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my review.
Okay. Well, thank you for going and talking about it, and
no problem.
All that stuff. And I think to make it better, they should just let's go to the good turn.
The good turn. I'm gonna call it that from now on.
The good turn.
Yep. Jared's definitely gonna call it that.
I just think of the Geico caveman. Welcome, like they have the welcome person, like welcome to good turn. And it's like, that guy's great. I won't say that anymore. All right. Well, that will do it for the show today. Like we had mentioned before, we were guest on the Orange Grove 55 show.
Yep.
Over on YouTube. That was actually a really good time. It was George the Italiano was there as well. Good conversation. Go check them out. And we're going to have them on the show sometime as well.
Yes.
Probably sooner rather than later. And it's good. Good conversation. Good show. Good guys. And also we have the live stream now on our YouTube channel at Cap the Magic on Thursdays, which would be today when you're hearing this, at 9 p.m. So we started doing that last week. That last week was the first episode. We got approached. We had talked about doing this before, but we're also dual streaming it over at Streaming the Magic on Facebook, as they approached us about doing a show like this. We're like, you know what? We were going to do this anyway, so we'll just dual stream this. So over on Facebook, you can catch it at Streaming the Magic, and on YouTube, you can catch it at Cap the Magic. And we're going to try and do it. It didn't work last time, but maybe stream it over on Instagram. You can do live streaming on Instagram as well. It was supposed to work last time, and it didn't. Okay. So that potentially could be there. So again, go check that out. You can join the chat over there. We're paying attention to that and all that stuff. And be sure to catch us on social media at Cap the Magic everywhere except for TikTok, which is at Capture the Magic. And if you want even more content, we have more shows. We have the CTM Universal show, which is not every Monday, about twice a month on Mondays. We'll have a new show. We have one this week.
Yep, we did a 101 about Jurassic Park
land. That's right. And we're going to make our way to Universal Studios soon to try some of the new Butterbeer options we'll talk about coming up. There's also an announcement for Epic Universe today, when you hear this, actually, for How to Train Your Dragon Land. So probably we'll have a show next week talking about some of the details that they go over there,
right,
as well as a video on the YouTube channel. So go check that out. And Jamie also has her Trip Tales show, which is her Trip Report show. Yes. And you just had one there come out a week ago?
Yeah, it's been about a week and a half ago. And I'll have a new one in probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Yep. Those are good ones. Those are good long ones. This last one was a 2-parter. So.
It was. This next one won't be as long. So just FYI.
You say that.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. I do say that.
It could be.
It could be. Yeah.
If you got some chores and laundry to do, it's a good thing to listen to.
Exactly.
Spends the time. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.